In this lesson, we're going to talk about the story element theme. A theme is the message a text conveys about a topic. It is the lesson or more than one lesson the main character learns that the author wants the reader to learn by the end of the story. The theme is usually not directly stated in the text and it must be inferred by the reader. Now, a theme cannot be expressed in one word like a topic can. A theme is expressed in a sentence and it is an observation or common truth about life. So if I'm talking about the topic pride, then a theme about pride would be pride comes before the fall of man. So remember, a theme is a message or lesson conveyed about a topic. Now here's an example of what a theme would look like. Now, if my topic was friendship, then a theme would look like this. True friends help each other through difficult times while false friends run from conflict. An example of what a theme would not look like is this. To make friends, you should be friendly. It's good advice, but it's not a theme. Here's another example using Beauty and the Beast as the movie or book example. So again, the topic is appearances, but the theme would be appearances can be deceiving and can keep people from having rewarding relationships. This is not a theme, a story about a woman who falls in love with a frightened beast-like creature. That's more of a summary. The theme would be that appearances can be deceiving and can keep people from having rewarding relationships. Now, there is such a thing called a universal theme. A universal theme is a lesson that can be applied to anyone regardless of their cultural background or their geographical location. So that means that it can be applied to anybody no matter where in the world they were living or where they were raised. So it is a generalization about human nature, and it usually deals with basic human concerns such as moral values. So universal themes are going to inspire readers to think about what is right or wrong and what is true or false. And then it's going to help them to think about how those ideas can connect to their own lives. So here's an example of what a universal theme would look like. People should trust in themselves. So no matter where in the world you grew up or what your background is, you can understand that universal theme, that people should trust in themselves. Now, a universal theme is not this. Children should obey their elders. While in many instances, yes, children should obey their elders, it really depends on your cultural background and where you grew up, whether or not children really should obey their elders. So this would not be considered a universal theme. Another example of a universal theme would be truth can be hard to find. This is pretty much, for the most part, across the board, this very true. Now, an example of what a universal theme would not be is Americans from the East Coast are very different from Americans on the West Coast. While this is true, this only has to do with Americans, so this is not a universal theme because it doesn't have to deal with everyone in the entire world. So let's talk about identifying the theme. When you're trying to identify the theme in a story, you have to think about the following things. What are the opposing forces? How do these opposing forces create conflict in the story? Does the solution to the conflict connect or relate to the lesson or moral? And do the characters learn something? If so, you probably have a theme. Now here are some steps to help you identify themes. So again, the theme is the message or lesson that the text communicates about a topic. So we're going to use Beauty and the Beast as an example. So step one, you want to understand who the main characters are. You want to ask yourself, who are the characters, what are their motives, and what flaws might they have that they need to learn a lesson about? So in our case, our characters are Belle, Gaston, and the Beast. And we do know their flaws. The Beast is, he was very proud and he did not help others, and therefore he was cursed. And same with Gaston. He's very proud, and he only likes Belle because she's pretty. Nothing really else. And so they definitely have lessons that they both need to learn. Then for step two, you have to identify the conflict. So in this case, the Beast is cursed to be hideous until he is loved by another. And also Belle is sought after by Gaston because of her beauty. So we have multiple conflicts here. Step three is to identify the resolution to the conflict. So for the resolution, Belle learns to love the Beast for who he is, not because of his appearance, and vice versa. And so this is the resolution to the conflicts we had before. The Beast was cursed. And then step four, you have to think about whether there is a lesson or a message. So the message might be that beauty lies within. Beast loves Belle for her kind heart, not for her beauty. And so Belle loves the Beast for who he is, obviously not for how he looks. Now, an author can also use word choice to identify theme. So the author is going to choose words specifically to help the reader understand the messages that they are trying to convey. So when you're trying to use word choice to identify theme, you want to do the following steps. First, you want to read the text. So for example, let's just pretend we read Beauty and the Beast. Then you want to identify the topic. So for this case, the topic is beauty. Then you want to analyze the word choices. So you want to look for emotional associations, tone, and mood. And then finally, you want to take all of that information and put it together and try to determine the theme. So add together the subject and what the word choice says about it in order to determine the theme. So let's highlight the opposing forces that create conflict in the following excerpt. So after holding Beauty captive for many months, the Beast allows her to visit her family. Her sisters are surprised at how well she is dressed and fed. They are jealous and trick Beauty into breaking a promise to the Beast that he will become mad and eat her. Beauty swiftly returns to the Beast and finds him dying of a broken heart. She tells him she loves him and begins to weep. Her tears transform into a handsome prince, and he tells Beauty that he was cursed after not letting a fairy in from the rain. They get married and live happily ever after. So we're trying to figure out what the opposing forces are that create conflict in this excerpt. So here I can see that her sisters are jealous, and they actually trick Beauty into breaking a promise to the Beast because they think that he will become mad and eat her. So right here I can see the opposing forces, and that's going to create conflict. And so eventually this will lead to the theme that beauty is not an outside thing to behold, that it is something that comes from within. And we know this because she runs back to the Beast and she expresses her love, which then turns him into a beautiful person himself. Anyway, so this has been theme. Hopefully now you understand it a little bit better, and you'll be able to identify it in the future.